Hello, everybody. How are you? I hope you are doing well. Okay. Uh, Today we reach tag questions. Tag questions. Tag questions consist of operator. This is the operator. This is the operator. And plus pronoun. This is the pronoun. This is the pronoun. Tag. In the Arabic language نقول ذيلي ذيل اللي يلحق بالجملة تاج. حتى باللغة العامية عندنا اللي احنا نقولها دائما مو اوكي. With or without negative particle. With or without negative particle. The choice and tense of the operator are determined by the verb phrase and the subordinate clause. So the operator, I'm going to choose dependent on the operator in the main sentence. For example, the boat hasn't left. The boat hasn't left. Has it? The boat hasn't left. Has it? So here we have operator. We have operator. And the operator is negated. Hasn't. So the tag will be positive. Negative, then the tag will be the opposite. If the operator is negated or is in the negative condition, then the operator in the tag will be positive. If the operator is positive, then the operator in the tag will be negative. We have these two types of sentences. The first one with an operator, the second without an operator, and let's see how we can deal with them both. The boat hasn't left. The boat hasn't left. The tag will be positive since the operator is negative. It will be has it. Has it. Of course, it refers back to the boat. To the boat. Juan recognized you. Juan recognized you. In this sentence, as you see, there is no operator. So again, we can depend on verb to do to use the tag. To use the tag. Since it is in the past, so I have to use did. And since the sentence is in the affirmative condition, so I have to negate the operator. Didn't she? Didn't she? I think this is clear. Okay. As these examples illustrate, if the subordinate clause, this is the subordinate clause. If the subordinate clause is positive, the tag is negative. And vice versa. العلاقة بيناتهم بتكون عكسية دائما. So, if the subordinate clause, the operator in the subordinate clause is negative, the tag will be positive, the answer will be no. So the answer will have a relation with the subordinate clause. The answer will have a relation with the subordinate clause. If the subordinate clause is positive, the tag will be negative, the answer will be positive. The relation between the answer and the subordinate clause. The nuclear tone of the tag occurs on the operator, and so the nuclear tone, the stress, will be on the operator, not on the pronoun. It will be on the operator, not on the pronoun, and is either a rise or a fall. 4 main types of tag question emerge from the observance of these rules. So please have a look with me. As you see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 types. 1 and 2 with a rising tone, and 3 and 4 with a falling tone. Now we have positive plus negative, means the subordinate clause will be positive, the tag will be negative for both rising and falling tone. And we have negative subordinate clause plus positive tag. Also with both rising and falling tones. Now, I just want you to have a look to these sentences. He likes his job. Doesn't he? He likes his job. Doesn't he? As you see here, the sound O, where, as you see, the stress, the rising intonation is going up from the O up. So it is rising intonation. He doesn't like his job. Does he? See again, from O up, the mark of the rising intonation. While here, he likes his job. Doesn't he? Doesn't he? You see, the intonation is falling. So instead of going up, it is going down. Notice the O here and the mark over it. He doesn't like his job. Does he? Does he? So as you see, falling intonation. The meaning of these sentences, like their forms, involve a statement. This is the statement. And a question. This is the question. The tag is the question. Each of them, that is, asserts something, then invites the listener's response to it. So we assert something, we say something, and we invite, we request the listener to respond to that invitation. Sentence 1, for example, can be rendered as, I assume he likes his job, because it is positive. So he likes his job. I assume that he likes his job. Am I right? Am I right? 2 means that the opposite. I assume he doesn't like his job. Am I right? Clearly, these sentences have a positive and a negative orientation, respectively. A similar contrast exists between 3 and 4, but it is important again to separate 2 factors. The one is what I assume, the other is what I expect. The one is what I assume, the other is what I expect. What I expect. Okay. So here you have this table, 1, 2, 3, 4. The time of rising intonation. Rising intonation. I assume something, but I don't have clear expectation. That's why I raise my tone. Rising my tone means I assume something, but actually the expectation is not clear. I'm not sure. That's why it says here positive assumption. It means with the first one, positive assumption. I assume something, but the expectation, my expectation, since there is a rising intonation, it means I have a neutral expectation. I don't know whether yes or no. Yes or no. The expectation is neutral. So if the expectation is neutral, you have to use a rising or follow a rising tone. And here, if it is a negative assumption, you assume something negatively. Again, since there is a rising tone, it means that the expectation is neutral. Expectation is neutral. You don't know. While with the third one, when you use a falling tone, it means that you know. So if you have a positive assumption, it means you have a positive expectation. And if you have a negative assumption, it means that you have a negative expectation. That's why you lower your tone or using a fallen intonation. I believe this is clear now. Okay, sometimes among less common types of tag question, one may be mentioned in which both statements and questions are positive. Both are positive. Both are positive. It means a kind of surprise. It means a kind of surprise. Your car is outside. Is it? Is it? Is it? It means that the speaker arrives at a conclusion. For example, if someone says that his car is broken, his car is broken, then the other will say, your car is outside, is it? يعني مو هي هاي سيارتك اللي برا. So there is no way to reject or deny or to say no. You've had an accident, have you? If someone is entering in front of us, so it's clear that that one has an accident. So there is no way to deny. So we use the statement and the question in the positive condition. You've had an accident, have you? Have you? This tag always has a rising nucleus, and the situation is characteristically preceded by oh or so, indicating the speaker's arrival at a conclusion by inference or by recalling what has already been said. The tone may sometimes be one of sarcastic suspicion. Sarcastic suspicion. سخرية. So that's your little game, is it? That's your little game, is it? It is sarcastic or mock. سخرية. Okay. Now we reach to another type of questions. Another type of yes-no questions, in which we call declarative questions. Declarative questions. The declarative questions is an exceptional type of yes-no question, identical in form to a statement. So as you see, it is exactly like a statement, declarative, like a statement. Because in a question, as you know, we know that either if we use the yes-no question, we have to use the operator and put it in front of or before the subject. In yes-no question, you have to bring the operator and put it in front of the subject, preceding the subject. But with declarative questions, we depend on the statement itself. The statement itself. There is no shifting. There is no changing in positions. And if the sentence contains no operator, no auxiliary verb, okay, there is no problem, because we depend here only on rising intonation. The sentence, the same sentence, without any changing. But at the end of the sentence, you rise your tone. You make it like a question. But there is no changing in the positions of the subject or the verb. And there is no need to bring verb to do whenever there is no auxiliary or operator in the sentence. That's why they said declarative questions, because the questions made by declarative sentences without any usage to any operator or any element. Okay, so except for the final rising question intonation, as I told you, and the usage of question mark, Okay, let's have a look to the sentences here. 5 sentences we have, 5 examples. You've got the explosive. As you see, explosive, the O here, take the nucleus and the nuclei are going up, rising tone with the question mark. You've spoken to the ambassador. At the end of the sentence, you raise your tone. You've spoken to the ambassador, and then a question mark. You realize what the risks are. You realize what the risks are. The risks here, you raise your tone. But if you have a look to the sentences, they are merely statements. Boris will be there, I suppose. Look at the word I suppose, because in the questions and yes no questions, in normal usage of yes no questions, there is no I suppose. Only with declarative questions you can find this word, this expression. He didn't finish the race. As you see, the rising intonation at the end of the word. But you have very complete, full declarative sentence. Very full sentence. Either positive or negative. He didn't. Here you have declarative negative statement or sentence. Boris will be, as you see, affirmative. You realize, affirmative. You've spoken, affirmative. You've got, affirmative. So you have negative and affirmative declarative sentences. The same sentence, you can make it a question by adding a question mark at the end of the sentence and by rising your intonation. Notice the occurrence here. See this note. Notice the occurrence of I suppose, impossible in normal questions, as I told you. Declarative questions show their assertive character and the inadmissibility of non-assertive forms. So because it is because they are declarative sentences, so let's have a look to this. Of course, because they are declarative, so it is not accepted to use non-assertive form with it. Non-assertive form, because they are actually in nature, they are not questions, they are statements. So usually we use assertive forms with them. Especially if the statement is not negative. Okay, like the guests have had nothing to eat, have had something to eat. So I can use nothing, something, either I negate the sentence or it is affirmative. So I use something, nothing, but I can't use anything which is a non-assertive form because it is declarative sentence. It is a statement. So the guests have had anything to eat. This is wrong. As I told you, you keep the statement as it is without any changing. Don't change anything. Don't change the assertive form into non-assertive. Everything there, keep it as it is. You only raise your tone at the end of the sentence and use question mark. If the sentence is negative, If it is affirmative, don't change anything. Use it as it is and only raise your tone at the end of the sentence and put question marks only. Okay. They are similar in the force to type 1 or type 2 tag questions. Type 1 or type 2 because the expectation is neutral, except for the rather casual tone, because here you have to change your casual tone. You are going to make the tone for a question, which suggests that the speaker takes the answer yes or no as a foregone conclusion, because you want to make yes no question, so you have to raise your tone to get the answer, either yes or no. And it says that it is similar to tag number 1 and 2 because the expectation is neutral. You don't know the answer, so you seek answer either yes or no. I believe now the declarative questions are clear to you. I hope you understand the lecture. So we are going to have another lecture, inshallah, about yes no questions with modal auxiliary. Thank you very much and goodbye.